Hello everybody, GrizzlyPig here. Today we are playing Throne and Liberty and I am running the Cave of Destruction. I will be explaining everything you need to know about how to complete this dungeon. I will be time stamping this video, so if you are only interested in certain mechanics you will be able to skip ahead to those specifically. And for time efficiency I will not be covering the trash in this video. And if you find this video helpful, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. I would much appreciate that. So this boss has two phases that are on timers. There is the main phase and then the interphase, and I'll explain both of those as we get to them. You can see there are three what we are going to call ant hills around the edge here. They all have eggs on top at the minute. This is going to be a main theme when you hit the second phase, the interphase. We are going to see more eggs. To initiate the boss, first of all we have to kill these eggs up the top here. Once all three are down, the boss will fly to the middle. Don't worry about pulling because he is totally passive until your tank initiates. And while you are waiting, this is a good time to activate your Stellarite and put any buff food on that you will need. When he lands, it's important that your tank is in melee range of the boss, or he will start to do an AoE wave which will soon kill the whole team. So if your tank dies and you have him really low, then it's important that whoever has aggro also does this as well. I will now explain the ant mechanic. Your DPS, aside from attacking the boss, will need to look around the room and look for an electric field circle between two of the ant hills. You can see we have a red one there. The ants will spawn and they will either be blue or red. We have to kill the ant, which is the colour of the electric field, in this case the red ones. Once they are dead, they will leave a circle in their wake, a red circle in this case. Stand in it, and when it disappears you will get a buff. You can stack this buff because the ants will spawn twice. They will spawn in pairs or threes. Whichever colour they are is RNG. Get them down quickly because they will burrow if you are too slow. After the second wave of ants is down, if you have the buff, take yourself over to the electric field because soon you'll hear the boss roar. That is the cue for the interphase, where the boss is, after 10 seconds of doing the roar, going to do a massive AoE that will most likely kill you. If you don't have the buff, you will not be allowed on the pillar, you will be stunned and most likely die like this guy here. The advantage of being on the pillar is that you get shot up and you are able to fly to whichever anthill you need where the termite spawns. There will only be one of them, and when there is, you have to DPS it down extremely quickly because the whole time the ant is up, you will be taking AoE damage from the boss. He will put a stacking debuff on you that will eventually kill you. Once that is down, make sure your tank gets over to the boss very quickly. When he is, you can fly down and land safely and then start the main phase again, where we have some ants now. You can see we have a blue electric field. So no different to last time. We are simply going to kill the blue ants if we can. Someone killed a red ant there for some reason. Doesn't matter. I will just mention that the ants are totally ignorable. They are only significant for the interphase, where you can just go on the ant hills if you need to anyway. So there we have the blue circle come up. When that disappears, that's when we will get the buff. If you want to do the ant phase, if you are doing the ant mechanic, please note that the second wave of ants is the most important for getting the buff. And don't worry if you only got the buff from the first ant that went down. The buff and its timer is first in line on the list of buffs under your mana bar at the top left of the screen. So use this to see whether you can have access to the pillar when the phase changes. If you don't think you'll be able to make the pillar in time, then don't worry, you can just go to an anthill. But 3 seconds before the boss does its AoE, the eggs will explode, and if you are the top of the platform, you'll be blown off. If that happens, don't panic, just spam space and fly back to the platform. The best thing to do is just sit just below the ramp leading up to the top, wait for the egg to blow and then run to the top. Again, we are going to get the ant down really quickly, and then we are going to go back for phase 1. Now we can see the boss is below 50% HP, so we are listening out for an audio cue now. It is the only other one aside from the one that tells us we are going into the interphase. This is going to tell us that the larvae are going to spawn on our heads. When you get your larvae, you will either have a green one or an amber one. In 10 seconds, the boss is going to blow all of those larvae up. If yours is green, you are safe, but you should run around to everyone that has an amber one. If you don't dispel the larvae, it will turn red and you will explode and you will most likely die. If you are in a pickup group, you alone can save the whole team just by running about to everybody. If they are not sure of this mechanic and you see someone standing on their own, run over to them and you will save them. Also note for the healer, that is when you need to really heal the tank up because he could potentially die there when the larvae explode. And also note to the tank, save your guardian for that as well. If you are in trouble, you can use your guardian. I recommend Karma Shea. She is one of the best DPS. You can also use your guardian as well as health pots too. And you can see that at this point in the fight, we have lost a couple of people already, but we are still going to complete it. It is very easy to do still if you have your tank and healer still alive. Just make sure you get these ants down super quick in the interface, as this is the only DPS race mechanic in the fights. If you are DPS and you get aggro on the ant, don't worry, just block up his hit and use your cloak if you can. If you're using daggers, the tank should very quickly get aggro back on the ant. And as we enter the main phase again, I will reiterate that it's really important the tank gets over to the boss before it starts attacking, as it will do massive AoE to everybody if they are not in range. Now the boss is well below 20% HP, we are going to make a decision, although we have killed an ant there, to actually ignore the ants and focus the boss heavily, because what we want to do now is to down the boss before we enter another interphase. And although we have to deal with the larvae phase again, it is not a problem. Everybody just hug up and dispel those where you can. The only reason I'm killing the ants here is that I'm hedging my bets just in case we don't down the boss before we enter another interphase. If the tank goes down at this point or any point below 10% HP, you are home and dry anyway, you can still do it. Finally, I'll also note that if you are DPS, you can stand right in front of the boss. You have got nothing to worry about at all. You can even block his attacks, just like the tank can do as well. And if you completed the boss, well done and congratulations on your loot. If this has been helpful, guys, I would much appreciate a like, subscribe and comment, and I will see you guys next time.